Hi, welcome to Anaprime Recap. Imagine waking up at night in a graveyard with a scarecrow watching you. What would you do? We continue our journey in the Tales of Junji Ito collection. Our first story today is called Scarecrows. A young woman named Yuki has just passed away and her family is at her funeral. Her father still screams in disbelief at the loss of his daughter. The next day, the girl's fiancé named Toshio appears at her grave carrying flowers and is promptly scolded by Yuki's father. He definitely doesn't like the boy and blames him for his daughter's death. He attacks the boy and runs off to get something. While Toshio starts talking symbolically with his fiancé, the gentleman comes back and places a scarecrow right in front of him, saying that it was to scare ticks like him away. The boy decides to just leave. Another day has passed, and Mr. Namada realizes that the scarecrow has turned into his daughter, and she's staring at him, but she doesn't say a word. Really scary. He calls everyone he knows to see that incredible phenomenon. Apparently it was his daughter's soul inside the scarecrow. But it would only be like that in the cemetery, because if he took the scarecrow home, it would return to normal. In the following days, several families decided to put scarecrows on the graves of their loved ones, following Mr. Namada's idea. And they all changed into the appearance of the deceased ones. Toshio went back to his beloved's grave and was paralyzed to find Yuki's scarecrow staring at him. He begins to dream that he was talking to Yuki and the scarecrow appeared during the dream. Toshio wakes up scared and realizes that he slept in the cemetery. He almost has a heart attack when he sees Yuki looking at him. Toshio runs in panic down the cemetery corridor, and when he stops, as he is completely out of breath, Yuki is in front of him again. With that terrible look. At dawn, a couple from the region found a scarecrow of their son with a hateful expression looking directly at his father. When the man tries to attack that bizarre thing, he ends up dying with the stake stuck in his chest. And the scarecrow seemed to have taken his revenge. And so does Toshio. He was dead with Yuki right on top of him. It seems that the people blamed for the deaths of their relatives will be punished by the scarecrows. Now, let's move on to the second story called The Supernatural Transfer Student. Sukano is a new student at the high school, and despite being a bit strange, Shibayama and Hosatani invite him to join a new group they are creating, called the Supernatural Club. The boy is very excited and says he loves investigations. After all, he comments that that city is full of mysteries, which makes friends intrigued. Young people have lived there forever and have never seen anything exciting. Anyway, they say they're having a welcome party for the student after class. And the new kid pulls out of the bush beside him a bizarre flower, like some kind of eyeball. The friends don't understand where that came from, and Sukano leaves jumping with happiness. Back in the Supernatural Club room, Shibayama says he dissected the plant and it really was a human eye. Kitagawa, who I'd say is the red-haired light Yugami, says that plant is a warrior spirit, and Sukano wonders if he can see spirits too. Shibayama makes a presentation of his supposed psychic powers, such as how to break the tip of a spoon with his mind. The new student also decides to try, and amazingly the boy manages to break the spoon, which leaves everyone astonished. Sukano says that it was just a joke. He comments that the secret is to twist the spoon until it is fragile to break easily. That's how magicians do it. But the girls say they haven't seen him twisting the spoon. Shibayama doesn't like the boy's attitude at all, for he claims that his power is mental and not a cheap trick of illusion. After the club meeting, Kitagawa goes to his classmate to comment in an ironic tone that perhaps Shibayama has been unmasked by the new student. They are interrupted by Sukano, who came to tell them about one more interesting thing he had found. A trail with a mysterious waterfall, at north of the school. The students respond that there has never been a waterfall there, but they decide to call upon the club and follow the new student there. They walk along the path next to the school and are surprised to find the waterfall. They wonder how they had never noticed it before. Shibayama has a supernatural feeling coming from that place. His friends ask what is happening to him, and the boy says he's worried, because he'll have to present his mental powers on television and people won't be impressed with spoon tricks. He needs something more powerful. Then Sukano comes up with a curious story, that by going down the stone path to the bottom of the waterfall, he gained an incredible skill. And he demonstrates his power by releasing a blue bolt at a bird that flew above them. Sukano convinces Shibayama that the waterfall provides supernatural powers. 2 days passed, and something was wrong. Shibayama has disappeared since the waterfall encounter. Everyone is worried about his disappearance. A lot of strange things started happening in a short time. Kitagawa says he senses an evil presence coming from the waterfall, and he believes Shibayama is deep inside her. They go to the location and he confirms that his friend's spirit is trapped down there. But it was no longer possible to remove his body. They theorize that perhaps he had jumped there, frustrated with his false powers. Sukano appears absolutely out of nowhere as usual and says they are wrong as he saw Shibayama fall from the waterfall while trying to receive the powers. The friends return to school devastated and feel that more scary things are coming. Once again, the sinister new student arrives euphoric, saying that he has found a mysterious lake nearby. If everything that has already happened wasn't enough, the group goes to investigate. When they arrive at the scene, nothing makes sense. How could a lake of that size have arisen and no one ever seen it? Hosatani yells at the sinister student, accusing him of having convinced Shibayama to go down the waterfall, and the boy starts laughing in an evil and scary way. He asks why everyone is nervous like that. If they really are part of the supernatural club, they should love these mysteries. Suddenly, a terrifying Godzilla emerges from the mysterious lake in front of them, leaving everyone paralyzed. It was already night, and the girls gathered to talk about this new student. Since the arrival of this boy, sinister things began to emerge. They are sure he is responsible for this. The girls then hear someone knocking on the door. But who would be so late at night? A disturbing voice comes from outside saying, "Please open the door." It's Shibayama. When they open the door, they find a zombie all bloated and scary. They quickly lock the door and are trying to figure it out, because the voice was exactly the same as Shibayama's. The zombie then blasts the door with its power and the girls flee to the street. A little further on, they come across Kitagawa, along with multiple immense moai statues. He says that when he came back from class, it all came to his house. Sukano emerges from behind the statues and the girls quickly accuse him of being the culprit for bringing these curses to town. The boy, as usual, deflects the accusations saying that he just loves to look for mysteries. Shibayama's zombie also arrived there and fired a power at Kitagawa, knocking a statue towards him. And Sukano is fascinated by the power of the zombie. The monster continues shooting lightning at Kitagawa, but the boy takes revenge with a red bolt, blowing up his zombified friend. Sukano says he's not surprised by the powers, as he knows the real story. He saw Kitagawa pushing his friend into the waterfall to become the sole wielder of the powers. However, the red-haired Kira just didn't count on one detail. He wanted to team up with Sukano to turn the city into an even more creepy place. But the new student says he won't accept his partnership. The next day, everything was back to normal, no bizarre things. The mystery student had transferred and Kitagawa had disappeared. The image of that paranormal student will always be a mystery to that group. So be very careful if you decide to take a walk through a cemetery full of scarecrows or start a supernatural club. So what did you think of this anime? Leave it in the comments below. And if you liked the video, like and subscribe for more anime recaps. See you next time.